Everybody, I'll be honest, guys. I was pretty pro Canada up until that intro, and now I hope you guys fucking go down in the semis, dude. We're good to be back, guys. Shot Tank's back. There he is. We got the So Rare in the States podcast crew is in there. We got Ryan. We got a lot of old heads up in the street. Even Skeets, after making 2 appearances, 2 different tweets made the intro video. But we are back for season 2, baby. We're ready to cook. Listen, so much has changed, right? Like, some of us have a kid, some of us have a kid coming, some of us see kids on the street. So we're all experiencing children in different ways. What's going on, TSC? What's going on, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Besides the fact that we got a heat wave up here and we started school, and school does not have AC, so it's been a rough couple days. But Canada's
heat
in the
wave.
Olympics.
What's a Canada heat wave like?
Like
75 degrees or something?
We're talking like 110 with humidity.
Celsius?
Yeah, 110 Celsius.
John, that's the best joke you've ever made, dude. That was pretty good. Yeah, we're getting one of those too, TSD. It is gross outside. I
showered 3 times today already.
Yeah, I feel that. This should be like, we don't have a Gold Bond ad read, but I would love one. Like, I would love a good rate on Gold Bond. Jeb, what's going on with you, man? How are you doing? Dude, hell yeah, Jeb. Let's unmute that shit, though. You know what I'm saying? Mix it up a little bit. Yeah, baby. You unplug that mic?
Audio.
Is he frozen too? No.
No. He's just.
You guys hear me now?
Now we can. Now we can.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
What's going on?
Well, as you can tell by my mental state and inability to use a computer, work's crazy. But life's good. Can't complain. A lot of work, a lot of shoes, a lot of crunching numbers.
Borland saying Jeb presented by All Day today with that little false start there. We're going to call it audible. All right. John, what's going on with you, man? How are we doing?
Not much, dude. Got a little baby coming in a few months. So I don't really have the same backdrop. For some reason, the sports jerseys and mementos kind of got nixed when we swapped the guest rooms for the nursery. So we're in a disheveled state of pillows and random shit in this room, and we're getting there. We got a crib. We have a crib fully put together upstairs. So that was the big milestone last night.
Beautiful.
Huge.
Well, that's
Huge.
very exciting. Very exciting. I don't have any updates. I feel like nothing's going on. Same old. But you know what? Let's fire up a giveaway before we get into it. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm doing a fantasy draft right now, and I hate it. I'm upset by it. I'm on the clock right now. It's PPR here. Kenneth Walker. So we're just going to make this pick before I show you what the giveaway is going to be. And we probably need to get a second running back here. It's not going to be Cook. I don't know. Maybe we do a little Pacheco. Oh, are you kidding me? No, let's get Jason. Whatever, dude. It's PPR. Let's get some more wide receivers. All right. Like the stream, subscribe, hashtag season 2. We'll give away a little something here at the end. Playing tonight, we're going to talk. We're just going to talk about whatever comes up. All right. There's a lot of different stuff going on. We haven't done a show in like 4 months or so. So a lot of different things we can get into. I'm sure we'll talk about all the different spreadsheets John's created for all of his different football endeavors. John's like famous now. I don't know if you guys saw this. His clips are being shared. He's out there doing different podcasts now outside of like the Virgin Web3 stuff. It's good to see John.
Wow.
I like it.
We got in on the ground floor though, so
yeah,
I do
early.
Yeah, don't get too big for us, John.
Yeah,
so. A couple of different things, right? So the NFL All Day had like 5 drops, I think, in the last 2 weeks. NBA Top Shots.
The one today was the same one as last week, still going.
It's like part 2, but they're different. They're different moments. So I thought when they said part 2, I was like, oh, they just released the moment. Whatever, who cares? We'll get into it. I don't think we should start with that. We're going to talk about So Rare a little bit as well. Jeb will do some UFC strike, but maybe do we do some NBA Top Shot stuff first? I just feel that's the one I feel the most well versed in, and I feel like a lot of different things has happened. I don't know. Does anybody? Well, let's just do like a temperature check. That's what tonight's going to all be about. We're just going to do some temperature checks, see where everybody's at. I don't know. What's our temperature? What's our thermometer reading for NBA Top Shot in this hot summer? Anybody can go. I don't care.
I mean, I like that they've leaned into burn leaderboards. I've liked a lot of the decisions they've made. I mean, I think we're kind of a long ways away from like things like being super vibrant and healthy. But I mean, at least I feel like they're at least moving in the right direction, and they're doing things that a lot of us are like, oh man, this would have been cool if they did this a year ago.
Yeah.
And so I mean, like better late than never. And, I'm glad that they're learning from their mistakes, at least. I don't know.
Is Series 5 going to be the golden age of touch? Near us.
Well, I mean, listen, dude, from what I saw, Series 4 was the start of the golden era, right? That's like the Mad Men era of like golden television. So that means like Game of Thrones right around the corner. I think but a lot of people die in Game of Thrones and incest. So I don't know.
People can die, but the show still be successful. So,
and that is what Series 4 is all about. If you work for Dapper. That yeah. Like, don't look at Roham. Don't look at me.
It's Mike's fault.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I just was the podcast about the people that did it. But I don't, John. Well, actually, I'm not going to ask John. John hasn't logged into Top Shot. John, when's the last time you logged into NBA Top Shot? You got some takes?
I got a couple takes. I mean, I think I'm more interested to get a little pulse of the people here and get a little bit of understanding in the chat of like how we feeling about the anthology sets here, because I think the Bird one was all right, but then it seems like weird to just keep firing like KD and Curry moments out. Like,
well, aren't they doing that?
Like they're still active,
Yeah, well, aren't they doing that because once they retire, they'd have to sign like individual deals with them? So they're trying to get all that stuff out now before they retire, and then they don't have to pay them to get the additional ones out.
Their story's not done being told yet.
Good point. But they're gonna tell their story from now on,
I think Ryan's right. There's never enough anthologies. Wait, hold on. Before we go back to the anthologies, because I do want to talk about that a little bit. Tessa said, Jeb, did you have a shady sale?
I think he's just talking about my Curry 3 that sold.
The accepted offer.
Oh, yeah.
Offer,
that's not a sale. Oh, that's not sketchy. That's not like LG.
I know, but it was. I don't know, Jeb. Do you want? It was just somebody put an offer in. We assume maybe they thought they were. It was like a specific serial number offer.
I don't know what it is. I was on the East Coast. I had to wake up early for work. I woke up like barely awake. 5 minutes later, I get a notification on my phone that someone's offering.
See, it is shady, dude. They won't even FBI.
Looking shady now. Looking shady now.
Jeb, your mic's out. Your mic went out the second you started to explain it, and I know that wasn't on purpose.
FBI stepped in.
But that was incredible. That was incredible. He just started explaining it, and then it immediately went out.
He told us how it was all sketchy, and then I think he finished up by saying that he wishes he lived on the East Coast.
Yeah,
the East Coast is better than the West Coast. I'm pretty sure that's what he was finishing. I'm pretty good at reading lips, and I think that's what he said.
Can you guys hear me? I don't know what's going on with my computer, but exactly, Skeets. It's a bit. No, I woke up, I saw the offer, and so I just immediately accepted it. And I expected to get like, I don't know, it wasn't that high above the floor, so I was like, okay, whatever. And it went through. LG sold a $1 moment for $2,000, and people are coming at me.
You know what the best part about that is if somebody else did that 2 years ago, if that like the First Mint would have had a podcast about it too. I need the First Mint doing a podcast on the First Mint.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was nothing shady. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know exactly what the details were. I like, to your point, maybe someone tried to put in an offer for a specific one and did general, because I definitely just got lucky and happened to be awake to accept it first.
That's it. You sold it for $2,100, right?
Yeah.
What's the floor right now?
So when I sold it, the floor was $1,800. I think the floor now is like below $1,000 again. Like a bunch of people bought it all the way up to $1,800. I sold the very top
and now it's all the way back down.
This is great. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. All right, let's go back to the rare. Now that we debunked Jeb's shade, let's go back to the rare anthologies. We've already talked about historicals at length here, about how typically we feel about them. I like the Larry Bird thing. I should have been so excited about the Larry Bird thing. I still lined up for a Larry Bird pack. But I remember when they came out with the Run It Back this time. It was this time last year, because this is right around when Top Shot decided they didn't want to host the opening day show. I think it's almost like an anniversary of that. But it was right when they announced the Run It Back, and I was like, oh man, like they're doing Larry Bird as a challenge reward. They're not going to do like an anthology thing. And then they did the anthology thing a year later, and it kind of like, I don't know, maybe other people didn't feel this way, and I know I really haven't talked to you guys about it, or at least not publicly. Like, did that have a similar effect for you, where it was just kind of like, oh, well, we already have a Larry Bird moment. We already, like, he was already introduced to the platform versus like the way that we've treated Magic. And is it only Magic? Have we done any other historical players with an anthology?
Curry and Durant.
Well, yeah, but those bros are still out there. They're out in the courts balling.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Like, where I think part of it was maybe, Top Shot was under different management when they put Bird in, and it was people just, not with a good big picture of what they could do with it. I don't know, but to your point, Mike, yeah, the wind was taken out of this. Like, the excitement and the electricity that there would be if that was the first time he was on the platform. Like, when Magic came out, people were like losing it. Like, we were all hyped too at the time. We were like, oh my gosh, this is sick. Like, this is a huge step for Top Shot. And yeah, I think because they did that challenge reward, there wasn't like a cool TSD release or anything. Like, it was cool. The interview was amazing that Austin did, and I'm really happy someone like Austin was able to do it. There's a lot of cool things there, but ultimately it just felt a little lacking because, yeah, we already had Bird on the platform.
Yeah. And I feel like when the Bird was released, we talked about how, like, we assumed it was because he wouldn't agree to do something like that or something like that. Like, so like, it's a little weird because that happened while the Magic was going on, or at least Magic was like already like, it was at the same time or close enough that they knew that was going to happen. So like, I don't know. I think that's a huge miss. Cause like, if you're going to like pump out this many moments of a historical player at once, like it has to be the first time they hit the platform, or it loses like a lot of its luster from that regard.
Yeah. And I mean, I still like, I thought those moments were exciting. Like, I still lined up for it, but it definitely didn't have I mean, it was just everything that we had already talked about. Like, it literally was everything we had talked about. We're like, oh, well, now they definitely won't do an anthology because they already came out with it. And I think I told you guys this. John, you want me to share screen down there?
Oh, go ahead. Oh, you can share mine in a second.
One of the things that I think I told you guys this, I was like, man, everybody's so excited about this right now. But I was like, the over-under is like 3 days before someone tweets out, yeah, do you know they got 4 different Larry Bird rares right now? Why do we have 4 Larry rares? And like 100%, that's what happened. The 3 from this drop, and then the challenge reward. But I think ultimately, like, again,
so they're saying they want some commons to go with that. Is that we're lacking common Larry Birds?
Larry Bird was a man of the people. We have to get in the hands.
He's a common man.
That's right.
I think the market is telling us that it did all right though. I mean, if you share it, Mike, I pulled up the 2 anthology sets, and I mean, basically, I find it kind of interesting that both the Magics are the same, both the Magic Legendaries. I mean, one's the TSD plus a debut badge, and it's out of 79, and the other one's out of 32. Those are the same price, so I guess that kind of makes sense. But then, like, the Magic 32 versus the Larry 33 are both about the same. Difference on the Larry is, I guess, the signature, so I guess that doesn't matter to anybody. And then the 2 other legendaries, 86, 85, those are about $1,000 each. The rares are pretty comparable. I hate how it fucking plays all this shit. Like, I don't need all this action. And then 80, yeah, I mean, they're all like relatively in the same price range here. So I feel like the market is saying that it wasn't that big a deal. So, or it wasn't that impactful to prices, I guess, because I thought, logging in, maybe there's going to be like a big drop off Larry compared to Magic, but it seems like they're about kind of where they should be. But I think what it does, if anything, it kind of makes the like run it back moment just look like kind of weird, right? Or like I think I think the anthology sets are cool, and I think like the way that it's like this, these graphics and like the autograph shit and like whatever. Like I think that's a cool idea, and that's like, you pull up this set and these 5 moments or 10 moments or whatever, and like it looks cool. But then when you start like comparing that to like some of the run it back stuff and definitely like the archives, it like makes those look like not as cool.
Yeah, that's where I land with that stuff too. But yeah, it seems like they got the price point right. You couldn't really make any money off of it, right? Because there was no chance to hit a Lego on it.
I think I made 75 cents off of mine, so I wouldn't go that far. Yeah.
Right. Well, and that is a lot. So
yeah.
But yeah, for a $99 pack price, right? And what did you just show, John? Was it like 101, 95, and 90, something like that? But they're all
the rares.
Yeah.
Yeah, 101, 90, and 80. So pretty much call it an average of 90.
Yeah.
And the pack
it's not bad.
So you get a little chance at a legendary. And
oh no, you didn't get a chance at a legendary. Those were just rares.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah.
So those. Yeah, so
you pretty much lost money.
Yeah, so nobody won. Nobody won.
He didn't lose like a ton. He didn't lose a ton. So I think they did do a good job with that for sure. It just comes down to, once again, like it just wasn't as exciting as it would have been if they didn't already fire that, like break that Larry Bird seal. So
right.
Maybe I'm just not a big Larry Bird guy, but it feels like the plays I don't know if that was a dig, but it feels like the plays they picked for Magic Johnson like are a little bit more like iconic, memorable kind of thing. And the plays for Larry, I was like, I don't know, whatever. Like, what isn't one of them like a 3-point contest?
Yeah, the 3-point, and they didn't even pick his good 3-point contest one. I think the one where he like catches it and throws it back up was like a pretty memorable Boston moment. But yeah, the 3-point contest one I could have done. I would have just picked the other 3-point contest one. But who knows? Maybe Larry was like, that's actually my favorite one. So that's the one that's
oh yeah. They did have Larry's info.
Let's talk quickly about so like they announced this week the rare anthologies that are coming out for all out of $299, I believe, for the triple threat, I think, or what did they call it? I don't know. They had a tweet with the triple thing in there. So we've got a KD one coming out, a LeBron one coming out, and a Steph one coming out. And I'm curious, like, where people's, I mean, not really you guys, more like the general Top Shot public, but like where the excitement level is going to be for those.
I mean, I think, the more LeBrons they already released the best LeBron moment, probably the best 2 LeBron moments that'll ever be in existence, the block and him breaking the record. So it's like there's diminishing returns on that. Like I don't think KD has that many moments that are super special in his career. Like there's no automatic like number one, like there's not like a short list of highlights you think of when you think of KD. So once again, very diminishing returns there. And there's definitely a couple Curry ones that come to mind. But it just goes to, there's so many Curry moments on the market, and there a lot of them are really cool too. Like, so it's like how many times can you go back to this before like I know they want to get and Austin even kind of touched on it, where they're like, oh yeah, we want to get like out of the top 100 plays, we want to make sure we're getting a bunch of those because we want to make sure we're archiving history with Top Shot. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like these aren't nearly as exciting as people were before. And if they do these again, I legitimately think it'll reach a point where even the hardcore Top Shot people just don't care. Unless they've already locked their moments and they're getting like residuals from that, where they don't have to burn anything or do anything to do it.
Yeah, I got news for you. It's only hardcore Top Shot people upset.
Well, yeah, I know. But I'm saying eventually they won't even care.
Yeah.
John, what would get you to line up for something right now?
Dude, I am so fucking confused at why it says how these mint counts work in the marketplace now. Like,
Oh yeah, I don't like that.
is it
I don't.
is it so people have burned some of these anthologies already, or did they make them all out
Yeah.
of different numbers or something?
No, someone's burned them. So the mint count is now the live circulation, like the active
Oh, so
circulation.
people are burning them to get high on this other leaderboard, right?
Correct. Yeah. I don't. I
And you
can't
win
stand
rares
that.
from that leaderboard? Like, why the fuck does that make sense?
I think you can burn. Well, I think Larry Bird's one of the people, and you can probably burn Magic too to get on these Curry and KD leaderboards, if I remember correctly.
What? Speaking of the burning, because one other thing that happened over the summer that I wanted to bring up, and I had like made this note a couple of weeks ago. So over the summer, right, they started doing a bunch of these burning leaderboards, which I think everybody liked, and then they ran into the issue a couple of times where, like, game theory with this shit, people aren't burning until the very end because you don't want to burn until you know like where you are. So like 5 minutes before there's this big run up, a bunch of people are burning stuff, everything moves around, and then because it's relatively new technology that they're rolling out, like they have a couple of issues, people complain because they're like, oh, I thought my burn didn't go through, now I just burn all these moments. And so then they tweaked the ruling around this, where now for these burn leaderboards, you can burn everything, and then if you don't qualify, you get everything back. And so I think there's like a couple of different, actually, before I even share like my opinions on it, I'm curious like how we feel about, I think collectively everybody's kind of said like, oh yeah, we like the burning leaderboards. How do we feel about like that specific adjustment? Because I feel like that was at the tail end of when we were doing Shot Tank when that came out.
I mean, I think
I
think that less people getting burned is overall good. Like obviously from like if looking at just the overall supply, it's like, yeah, it's going to be worse at the beginning, but I think overall it'll lead to people wanting to participate in these more. And I think also that like in the long term, when we get to those like people competing for those last spots, people are going to go a little like harder after it because they know that if they fail, they get everything back. So I think like it's kind of a no-brainer, but obviously at the beginning it's going to lead to less burning, which is a negative.
John, what about you? What were you gonna say?
I think there should be, okay, so it started out with like, okay, if you burn and you get like 9th place, you get like a sick legendary. If you get 10th place, you get like 3 trade tickets or something. And then they like evened it out a little bit. They like made better tiers of like, okay, if you don't land at the top, you get like a little cool, some other cool shit, and then you get a little bit less cool shit and whatever. And I think that was like the right spot, because I think part of the like there is the game theory aspect of it, and there is like okay, there's game theory, and then there's also just like waiting for the last 2 minutes, hoping the system works and hoping you get lucky. So like that's like that aspect needs to be taken out of the equation, which I feel like they figured out after the one where it kind of got all screwed up. And so if it's just like wait until the end and kind of making some calculated guesses on what you need to do to land in the top 5 or the top 10, I think that part should stay. Versus now it's just kind of like, it's kind of like the participation trophy thing. It's like, oh, well, I'm doing it as no risk. Like there should be some sort of risk involved. And I think that's part of why, I'm sure people are bitching and complaining, and they just kind of ceded to that of like, oh, we'll try this no risk thing. But like, there should be a tax if you burn or something like you can't like just get it all back, like you got to be able to do so, like maybe your TSS resets, or like, I don't know, something that's like a bit of a tax on it. So that way it's not just like people loading up 1 million TSS at the start and then getting it all back after.
Yeah,
JBB,
maybe you have to
pro taxes, wants more taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you're
Just
becoming more
tax
Canadian.
rich.
I was just sharing Borland's comments too, because I feel like I've heard this a lot as well. Just stop making us burn the moments we like for a chance at something else, where it's like instead of offloading the like good play, like offloading garbage, I guess is what we're looking for, more stuff like that. Jeb, were you going to say something regarding that? Not Borland's comment, but the other thing.
To John's point, yeah, like make people burn like 10 commons and then they don't get those back, and whatever else is like iffy. I think so. When we were when we were preparing for this podcast, I was going back and kind of looking at all the stuff that's happened since. And to John's point, when they did that rookie leaderboard burn, I thought that was sick, where they're like, hey, you can burn anything that's a rookie, which includes like that LaMelo 40K, the Anthony Edwards 40K, like some of these moments that people might have a lot of TSS on and a big loss on. And they're like, and you'll get packs with like rookie 4-badge players. And I thought, and there was tons of different reward levels where like pretty much if you burn, you got something back. And I think that's the way to do it, where you have like this mechanic's really good, but you need to build challenges that use it as well. So that way, to John's point, like there's more burning going on, and you don't have people complaining that they lost a spot, because the reward structure is like super top heavy or something like that.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't even mind the top heavy stuff because I maybe it's because I come from playing like fantasy sports tournaments, like where the payout structure is usually like that, where like if you finish in the top 3 out of 2,000, you get rewarded much better than 5 through 9 or whatever.
But this is a collectible, not gambling, right?
That's true. It is. Well, it is now.
Gambling, right?
If you win first, if you stack the Braves, you win freaking 35K.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
There you go. Boom. Then I'd be fucking locked in, dude. But wait, hold on. I was gonna say one more thing about that I wanted to get up. I actually like don't care. I don't care. I think if
end the podcast.
I only like this adjustment because they haven't built it well. Like I think if the burning thing worked in the last 5 minutes, I don't know. I like the run up. I think that's part of like, then don't fucking burn it. Like if you're like, oh no, I don't want to, if I don't come in first, it sucks. Like then don't do it. But because what they have built to do this doesn't work right, then I understand why they've made the adjustment, because they feel like they're, for a shitty pun, burning people. But
I think they should make one change, and how it works is that when you submit, they bring back the wheel.
But Abby Chin comes back.
Yeah, Abby Chin and who was it? Vinyls that did it.
Let's bring back somebody who's not working there anymore. Let's they can they spin the wheel. Former employee comes back?
So they come back. They individually send each person a video of the wheel with their moments on it. Yeah. And they spin it so many times, and those are the this that either you get to keep or get burned.
Ooh. Yeah. I like that.
Yes. That's why I brought up.
This KD leaderboard is how they should do all of the hollows this year, and how they should probably do all the MGLEs too, though. Like this is actually a pretty good format, and something that I was kind of back when I used to talk about Top Shot on Twitter, I was talking about is like, they're making you basically, in order to get the anthology, you have to burn a legendary, rare, fandom, or Top Shot debut in order to get the anthology, right? So it's like, it is a way of like leveling up just KD's moments, or not leveling up. I guess it would be a leveling up in this case because it's like a good moment or something, but it is like a way for people to like recycle the same player and like get another shot at that moment later on if you like that one better or whatever, right? So if like, for instance, all the hollows came out and the first drop, there's 15 hollow leaderboards for all the 15 players, and you can only get on that leaderboard, top 99, get a moment, and you have to burn, then I think that's a pretty good way of doing it, because it keeps that player's supply, going in a downward fashion, and it kind of helps people like stick on the right path that they like. Like, oh, I like fucking Davis Bertans or whatever, I'm gonna go do that. And,
Yeah, I like that too. I like that it's limiting the like the supply of that player.
I like that Bertans is the legendary that you really want, John. So.
Yeah, I mean, he almost had a huge shot this morning. So,
dude, that announcer, that was seriously one of the best things ever. He's like, Bertans! Like, it was so good. He got so high on that. It was beautiful.
Like that close.
He also kept yelling afterwards.
Yeah.
Like he was excited like for the next like 5 seconds too.
Tesla, we'll end the Top Shot talk here and pivot to some other stuff here. We can end it with this. Tesla says, what do you think the floor for the Wemby TSD is?
I mean, the first day, or are we talking
In a
2 weeks?
year?
This
In a
is
year
great.
from
Polar
today?
Knight says, I love this show. It's the perfect evolution of beard growth. That's great. That's great. Yeah. All right. So the floor of the Wemby TSD, we'll do the floor of the Wemby TSD of like in its first month, and then like by the end of the season. Although because they kind of unload them all at once now, we think, right?
So
yeah,
so exactly 1 year from today, and I'm sure we'll go back and check on it.
Okay, yeah, 1 year from today. What's the Paolo right now? Is that still north of 100?
I was just about to pull up.
I think it's like
top
120,
TSDs.
150.
Wow.
I think he's the most valuable for.
Paolo's 158, dude. 158.
Yeah, 150.
There you go, baby.
Still got
Anthony Edwards, 142. Zion, double badge is 2. Oh wait, that we don't care about that. Oh yeah, that is his only moment. Yeah, 245 for Zion, Ja for 405, but those are kind of
Those
skewed.
don't count.
Yeah, and those are not a 4K.
How much is LaMelo?
Well, neither is Paolo Charles. It's out of 309.72, and Anthony Edwards is 3948. So they're not fucking 4Ks anymore. Okay. LaMelo's 99.
Okay.
Which doesn't make any sense because I feel like he sucks. Halliburton's 75. Gade's 65. Damn.
So all right. So with Paolo being the most expensive, and you got to take into consideration that Paolo probably this time next year won't be 150 because we love it when it's a rookie, and then we're like, all right, let's bring it down a little bit. It's happened every single year.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Once he gets more moments, people be like, well, why do I need the 4 badger? I could just get this 50K.
Yeah, this one, or they're like, this one actually might be worth more because it's season 7, and season 7, that's the first time you could like drink. He was over 21, so yeah. All right, what's the Wemby floor? What do you think? Let's go around. Let's start with Jeb, and then we'll go in the box. Jeb, you go first.
All right, I think to start off, it'll be around like 250.
Wow.
And then I think a year from now, it'll be at about 170.
Okay, so 250, and then a year from now, 170. John, what about you?
I think it'll get up to 300 out of the gate. That is also assuming that they just juice it up as like the first drop of the season, like totally jerk them off super hard, and like when everybody's like ready to blow their load. I think it gets up to 300.
300. Wow. All right. But what about a year from now?
I mean, a year from now, like, does he have like a Chat rookie year where he does like breaks his foot? Does he like Scotty Barnes fall off a cliff? Scotty Barnes is worth $40 right now. Like, I'll say he's the highest 4 badge a year from now, and I say that'll be $100.
Wow, $100. Okay.
Wow.
All right, hold on. Boston Base wants me. Okay, Boston Base. Here you go.
With the caveat, he's also the highest 4 badge.
Boston Base. He said super chat erasure, and then said how my Buddhism's teachings on detachment and impermanence influence faith and success of interstellar travel. All right, there you go, dude.
That was actually Jeb's UFC moment. Yeah,
all right, TSC, hit me with your numbers.
222, and a year from now, $10 less than Scoot Henderson's.
10.
What about Chet?
I was going to say, dude, I think Chet's the one that's going to go. We're going to see him go the most up. I feel like he's going to start kind of low, and then he's going to go up because Victor, like Wemby probably gets shut down halfway through the season.
Dude, you know what I can't wait for, which I just thought of right now, is that there's going to be some leaderboard burning, including one specific rookie on the Houston Rockets. And then some dumbasses are going to be burning his brother's rookie moments for the Detroit Pistons. And then there's going to be some Discord announcement being like, everyone who burned Sir Thompson can get those moments back because this is for Amen Thompson. All right, I'm gonna go 195 for Wemby. That's gonna be the height of it. Assuming they do the same type of release where all 4K basically come out in the same drop. I think maybe it gets a little bit higher, but I think I don't think we're gonna see the same types of moonshots and then cratering with those
Just
full
cratering.
patch moments.
So what about the fact that everything last year started low and then took off? Like Paolo before at the beginning, he was like, I think like 50, 60. He was like 50, 60, 70 or something. And he took off as like people started locking and stuff. I think that is one of the reasons why Wemby will be high is because people are expecting the same thing from last year. And then when that doesn't happen, obviously, because everyone's expecting it, and the market's already priced that in, then we're going to see that dip.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what I think the difference is there is that we know that now. I think last year was the first year where we had the leaderboard challenge stuff, right? Like the leaderboard burning challenge for like rookies and all that stuff. So I wonder if that's going to be like more. It'll just be more steady, more stabilized. I might be wrong though, because you are right. The Paolo like came out, and I think it was in like the 70s, and then slowly made its way north after that. So I love that John is sending us DMs right now, but not about being in the show. Here we go. John's back. John is back. So good lighting, John. You look good. But yeah, I don't know. I'll be curious to see what happens. Boston Bay says, "Mark my words, Wemby will make Top Shot worldwide news." Listen, not to transition over to So Rare, but if I had to take a guess at which thing Wemby's a little bit more engaged with, unless it's the NBA PA pulling some strings, my guess it's the French-based company who he already sort of has a relationship with in So Rare. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't do either because he's so locked in and focused on Spurs basketball. But that would be my guess.
Yeah, we already saw him. We already saw him with Rudy, who was wearing his So Rare shirt. It seems like they're pretty set on making him the flagship face of it. So
yeah,
Top Shot's all about Scoot, baby. Scoot versus Wemby. Here we go,
dude. What if Top Shot went like super DeSantis and they were just like, we're fucking dude backing Americans, dude. We're not fucking French. You can't do freedom fries, dude. Even though it's a Canadian. Yeah, even though it's a Canadian company.
Dude, that'd be hype.
That'd be incredible.
Red Pill's Top Shot.
Yeah. So Rare has been pretty quiet, actually. There we go. Rabbit saying missing us. Good to see you, Rabbit. So Rare actually has been somewhat quiet on the basketball side of things. They've had a lot of football news come out, a lot of baseball news come out. I know they have some spicy announcements coming in the next couple of weeks or so. But like the one big change that we saw from So Rare outside of TST letting us know he got some sick backpacks because of his playoff win. Congrats, dude. Yeah, you know what? They do look clean, but it's still insane to me that you came in first place or second place. And they're like, here, dude, you can fucking travel. But the thing that So Rare did announce that I would throw out there that this is the thing that was holding most people back from it. Anybody that was like, nah, dude, talk to me when there's cash rewards. Well, now they've introduced cash rewards to with baseball already. That has worked. And then it's coming to basketball as well. So I'm curious to see if there's any, like, I don't know, John, I think John is the most like fantasy sports gamble friendly person on here
in the world.
In the world. But what, John, you would like, I know you're the projections bro, but I think you were pretty jacked up about So Rare early on. And then as it came out, you were just like clicking some buttons a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I
think you got to have a little bit of the chase there. And I think the problem that these NFTs companies can't figure out, or it's hard to figure out, is like how to incentivize all this shit when it's just like regurgitated season 2 or whatever of the same crap, right? And so like if your supply needs to grow every year, because like that's how sports work and there's new seasons every year, and you're like people are like probably getting slightly smaller every year, hopefully maybe not growing.
You have a kid on the way. This is an intervention, John.
Anyways, I think there needs to be like a little bit more of an incentive there to like keep chasing, right? It's like the best like So Rare cards can only be good for so much, right? And so I think I think that's where the cash stuff really comes into play. And I think I haven't seen the announcement, but is it going to be like the thresholds, or is it like the top 3 get a pretty big bag, or
My
you don't know?
understanding, I think we're gonna get an announcement in the next like 2 or 3
Okay.
weeks would be my guess. But I don't think they've done thresholds in baseball, so it's just kind of like how you place. And I know people are like, forget cash.
I didn't mean thresholds, but it was like it was a little bit flatter payout, right? It was like top 300 or something get paid out.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, that's great. I think that's what it needs to be, and it gives people a little bit more, bankroll to keep kind of keep chasing it. Because at a point where, like, at the end of the season, you're getting to the point where like the top prizes like were not that great relative to like how they were at the beginning of the year, and so then it kind of starts putting into question like, why am I putting all this time and effort into this stuff? So I think the more that you can have the time versus the reward equation correct, whatever form that ends up in, I think is what makes sense.
Yeah, and I'll say with baseball, it's been pretty cool. Like I played a little bit more at the beginning than I did. I'm not playing as much right now because I kept forgetting, and then I got pissed off. But what was kind of cool is like if you did like I cashed a couple of times, or like won ETH a couple of times. I didn't realize you got a reward on top of that as well. So for anyone that's complaining where it's like, oh, you don't get a reward, I was like, oh shit, I won 2 different times, which is great. So I am excited for that to come to basketball.
So you're just flushed with ETH.
Yeah, dude, I won like $12, I think, like total. It was pretty big. It's pretty big. But I imagine we're gonna get some announcements on like what the structure is gonna look like, and I know they've taken a lot of feedback on the different types of contests that they're gonna be doing. Like I talked to them a couple of times. They're like, "Well, if you could give us any feedback, what would it be?" I was like, "Just give me as many fucking tournaments as you can. Like I don't want to enter training lineups. I just want to fire out things into tournaments. Give me as many as you can." So. But that's really it for this on the So Rare front. I don't know. Have you got any other like thoughts on I guess So Rare in general, but NBA also, sorry, Skeets had said something too. I want to confirm this. TSC, was that first place or was that second place for the luggage?
Whoa. I came first.
It was first. Okay, I couldn't remember.
But it like, I mean, it wasn't like first place you get these things. It was like first place you get this many coins. Go spend your coins. And I chose to buy bags.
Also, Mike, calling it luggage is very generous. So.
Yeah, it's like I could bring what's the cheap airline there in the States? I don't know.
Frontier,
like Flair up in Canada. That's pretty shit. But
yeah,
I could bring all of the things they gave me on for free on the cheap airlines. So
did you guys see the diarrhea airplane?
I heard about it. I didn't want to see it, so
honest question for you guys. What were you surprised that Barstool Sports was the one that shared that video?
No, that's so on brand for them.
I was more surprised. I just was like, this doesn't fall under any of your categories of content. Like, why?
Yeah.
I still can't comprehend that it's real.
I mean, you see the lady, that motherfucker isn't real lady blowing up. Like, I think plain content is a new like niche, dude.
Well, and I'm glad
on plain content.
I'm glad you brought that up because we partnered up with American Airlines this year and we'll be doing live before locks from 35,000 feet. So we will be doing all of our live before locks in the skies.
Mike's gonna skydive it after lock every time.
Yeah, it was skydive after. Yeah, well, yeah. Hope you put your lineups in.
My buddies, so we're in a group chat with a bunch of the boys trying to get the fantasy stuff going or whatever. And my buddy is like on his honeymoon in Mexico and like is texting us like, dude, I got in Mexico, like got all the bad stuff, Montezuma's revenge, whatever, like drink the water, all this shit. And then like he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of plane tomorrow, like this is gonna be brutal. And then like the next morning somebody sends that like thing in the chat, like, is this you? Like, did you land? It's like it's pretty good. It was pretty good fodder.
That headline felt like almost like a Mad Libs Chat GPT type thing when that came out. I was like, diarrhea forces plane down, and I was like, okay, come on.
But I mean, are we sure it's real?
It is real, dude. It is real.
What's the most?
Are we calling that Air Force 3 then?
Wait, yeah, Air Force 3. Yeah. Wait, John, what did you say?
Do you guys have any good like uncomfortable plane stories?
No, but I shit my pants in a car once. That's it. That's the
Well,
closest. we got.
I wasn't going for shit your pants, but
All right, that's
But,
what we're talking about. That
It
no,
was
I,
an
I like- well,
uncomfortable
did you guys watch
travel
Hijack?
story.
did you guys watch Hijack?
yes,
The Apple, dude, that show got me going. But
dude,
I have we're on a.
You
I
have
was
a
on
hijack
plane-
story?
no, the show Hijack.
No. I don't have a hijack story, but I was on a plane. Like, dude, I think it was like a pretty big flight, like a couple hours for sure. And like, we're like maybe an hour into like a 4-hour flight, and they like start asking for medical attendants and like any doctors and like all the shit. And like, this girl next to me is like looking around, and I'm like, oh shit, she's probably like in nursing school or something. And she's like keeps looking around, and she's like, all right, fuck it. And she like puts her hand up, and then she goes forward, and it was like really bad. Like they were like doing CPR and like all this shit. Like I don't really know what happened. It was like some older person that like I think they passed out because of the altitude or something. I don't really know. And then they got into like a lower altitude, and they were breathing and stuff. And anyways, they were like starting to talk through like emergency landings and all this shit. And that was the most uncomfortable flight I've ever been on, because everybody's just like, holy fuck, did this lady just die? Like,
Yeah.
like, and then it's like, we're still like not very close to where we need to go. It's just like, damn, this is freaking crazy. So anyways,
That is
that's my
tough.
story. Not really diarrhea.
With a cool altitude story, bro. Oh my god, that would do that for me too. Skeet said I watched 127 hours on a plane while stuck in the middle seat and started having a legit panic attack. Yeah, that would do that.
Dude, I think the most recent one for me was just being trapped in Newark Airport last year. That was rough, but yeah, my flights have been good, dude. My flight back from Vegas, I had the whole row to myself, and my flight up to Sacramento on Sunday, there were 40 people on the plane. I had like 4 rows to myself. It was awesome.
Great. It's great.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even bring that plane down if somebody had diarrhea on it. There's like,
You're like, move over,
up.
man.
Yeah, just move over.
They actually encourage you guys just shit in your seat.
Get it out of the way before you have your next flight, your connecting flight. Make sure you get it all out on this one.
Oh man, that's good. All right, I don't know. What else do we want to talk about? NFL Day did some drops.
Just real quick about the NFL Day stuff. I think it's
Is
cool.
the
that they're doing
playbook
it
like
down-
easy to figure out, or is it still super complicated and you have to like have a PhD?
Wait, what?
Is playbook, or is that what it's called? Playbook, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is it easy to figure out, or you have to like have a PhD this year?
It seems pretty simple so far. I did a couple of the off-season ones, and I did the stuff that's available right now is pretty straightforward. So we'll see,
I
we'll see
saw-
how it goes.
I saw there was there was a kerfuffle today about the current playbook. I saw a lot of the VIPs were upset. But I don't know. I'm sure there's people in the chat that were following along as to why it was a frustrating one. But
Well, I think it was because they only had like, I think, common rewards, right? It wasn't-
okay.
Yeah, they didn't
wasn't
have anything
step forward.
for the start of the season. They didn't do anything super exciting in terms of like, oh, like welcome back, like here's some awesome stuff you could win. I think partly because they're so focused on the dynamic pack drops that are happening right now. So
Yeah. I mean, I did see that was the joke that I was making at the top where they were like, Audible, we're gonna give out rares now. So I saw that they made that adjustment in the Discord.
and
Yeah.
The dynamic moments are oh yeah, here we go. Like dynamic moments, I think, are freaking awesome.
Well,
And,
do you remember we had like a full show on this, I think, one time because when they first like talked about that
as
idea.
usual, we're ahead of our time.
Yeah. But right, like that idea of like when you're talking about scarcity for some of those like legendary and rare moments, if you were like, hey, instead of doing, an MGLE, video game numbers, all that stuff, like what if you just had like Tatum has one rare moment that just evolves like a fucking Pokemon over the entire season, and we all get Charizards at the end. Yeah. I think,
Pokemon. Respect.
dude, that was the only.
He didn't even name the one that it evolved from. He just named.
No, he didn't. I was just
Char-
impressed he knew.
Mander.
Honestly.
Charmander, Squirtle, and Years ahead
Exactly,
of our time.
Skeets. We're ahead of the curve. Yeah, I think the dynamic moments are super cool, and I pray they come to Top Shot because like we said a while ago, like it solves so many problems that like are very evident, and we've talked about since the beginning of Top Shot, where like when everything was like crazy high, like we were all like, yeah, well, they're going to mint more moments, like they're going to mint moments every year for the same players. Like we know that's going to happen. And I mean, in series 2, I think the most infamous one is like James Wiseman played like, I don't know, like a handful of games and has like 5 moments.
Right.
Yeah. So
I mean, that all be one moment.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like and we talked, I think you brought it up, Mike, with the video game numbers where like it was like Luca or someone had a crazy game. They made a video game number moment for it. And then like a week later, after that moment had dropped, he had a game that was 10 times crazier. And you're like, and then you're like, okay, well, I guess this will just have his second best.
New boss.
Yeah.
New boss level.
And
different console.
I kind of JFog too saying dynamic moments would be a good like favorite team leaderboard. Yeah, that's the other thing that I saw a lot of conversation around this summer, which I think we're just going to talk about this forever.
I think the end of the year leaderboards are not good.
Probably not.
You think the rewards are not good, or you think just in general it's not good?
I just think I don't know. It seemed like they lasted like 2 months to get out, and they all just seemed like the same moment. So it just kept coming out. I'm like,
well, that's what, right.
Like
so
another top whatever leaderboard for whatever.
Yeah, I think that was why everybody was pissed when they came out, because they were like, "Oh wait, you just made a dynamic moment."
Like Paulo's was like included some of his Top Shot moment highlights in it, right?
Right.
Yeah. And like the Laker one included LeBron breaking the record and stuff like that. Yeah, it was a head scratcher for sure.
Yeah, but I do like the idea. But do you not like? I feel like that would be something that you would like. That you're like, oh, I'm stocking up on, Scoot Henderson because I'm an American about like who is going to win like Rookie of the Year.
No.
Yeah.
So sorry. Are you talking about me?
Yeah, I'm talking about
you, John. So I don't like the idea of a million freaking moments firing off over the last like month and a half after the season's over.
Right.
I like the idea of some sort of something at the end, but like just make it like 1 or maybe 2 things, not like 17 Giannis things.
Well, John, if you don't like moments coming out after the season's over, you might have to leave NBA Top Shot, because that is the bread and butter.
Well, I will say, I guess it might. Is it too early to say they're not going to do another archive set, or is that still definitely in the works?
Oh, it's way too early.
I think they already confirmed it, right?
Oh shit!
Well, not confirmed it, but we've got historicals coming, right?
They keep dropping breadcrumbs.
But doesn't anthology count?
Maybe. I thought they were still going to do the run it back, though. I can't imagine they pivot off that. I'm hoping, I'm praying that they are actually going to do the run it back drop. If they do a run it back drop, which I'd be okay if they didn't, but if they do one, that they do it the first week of the season. I just please have something cool like that at the beginning of the year if you're going to do it. Otherwise, don't do them.
Yeah.
They should be all dynamic moments. Every rare and a legendary should be a freaking dynamic moment. There's no single player on Top Shot right now that needs multiple Series 5 rares.
Yeah. What about
not even 1B?
Ooh, okay. What about
not even Scoot or Chet? All the rookies need 1 rare.
Or they go the other way, right? The shittier players get like 6 or 7 rares.
Like Bertans.
Yeah, like Bertans, like Christian Wood, who's, dude, I don't know if you guys saw this. Richard Sherman today on Fox Sports with Skip Bayless compared Christian Wood to Pau Gasol.
Yeah. I mean, Richard Sherman should not be allowed to have basketball takes. He also said the Lakers should trade Anthony Davis for Giannis.
Straight up.
Neither team would do.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
I just couldn't imagine like being on the other side of that conversation and keeping a straight
Mahomes
face.
for Josh Allen. Who says no?
Who says no? Who says no? Oh, I couldn't believe it though. It was so good. All right. We barely said anything about NFL today. We said that we were like, oh, the dynamic moments are cool, and then immediately went to NBA Top Shot about it. But are people like Jeb? I know you lined up for some of those rare packs, right?
Dude, I maxed out the account. All that Dapper I had from that ill-gotten sale is right in for those packs, baby. I reserved 7. And we'll see what
speaking, so you reserved for 7. Let's talk about the nutbag that reserved for 100.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's a bit. I'm thinking that's a screenshot.
Like a Photoshop?
Photoshop.
Like
no?
how Herzig.
Do you think somebody legitimately put $10,000 into Dapper?
I mean, if you're into
year of our Lord
shot,
Jesus Christ 2023.
If you're into NFL a day at this point, like you're probably a hardcore like fan of it. So yeah, maybe. I don't know. Now I'm curious.
People have been like one of the bits that people do.
Jeb's so angry that he didn't think of it. That's why Jeb's so mad right now. That is exactly something he would tweet out.
It's like, dude, that's fucking pure profit, baby.
Like one of the underdog bits is like some guy like replies to every Schefter tweet of like, oh my god, I have 87% of this player in 2000, and it's like clearly not true because he does it for like every player, and people like get got by it. Herzig got by it today. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, the Sudfeld one today was my favorite.
I'm 99%. I'm 99% sure this is real. There's like no evidence of any Photoshop. It's like either insanely good or it's real. I would lean towards it being real, considering this is a all night account.
John, how much
all night?
How much did you spend? How much did you spend on the Giannis moment?
Oh yeah, I spent over 10K on the Giannis moment, but that was an investment with a a cohort of individual friends of mine.
Oh, you know what, John? It was a content play, probably. You can reserve and cancel.
Yeah. Oh,
John Hickey. Sorry, John Hickey.
Oh, yeah, no, that's bullshit. So I got a question though, because
you're way smarter than me.
Well, Reed was saying, okay, but to reserve, you still have to have 10K in your Dapper account. So
correct.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's not like
but bank wires.
It's not a total get out of jail free play there.
They're paying the fees on bank wires right now. So
that's true.
Yeah.
This is how they're sinking Dapper. This is like a vengeful play.
Just shifting money around freely.
The last time Roham's gonna get me, you're gonna pay $35 every single time.
I'm sure somewhere you could like say that's you could probably write off on your taxes that every time you send it to Dapper it gets turned into Flow, and so your cost basis for it on Flow is like whatever it is then, and then whenever you get to your bank account, since Flow keeps going down, you just kind of like keep like, I don't know. There's probably a tax write-off somewhere you can make up. But okay, my question is for...
It sounds like you're suggesting fraud, John. On some,
I would never.
Like a very
Oh wait,
never.
No. Hold on, John. Before you get into it, this is a perfect time. This is a perfect time for something that I feel like I barely do anymore. None of this is financial advice. Do what you love what you do, something like that, right? We go. We never talk about buying, selling, or frauding that much anymore, so I'm glad we got that out there.
No, I was gonna bring up Reed's point. Reed Jensen, he said he got 20. He's gonna resell everything he gets on the pack marketplace. And Jeb, you were kind of on board with this, but like, okay? So the rare packs are going for 150 pretty regularly, right? There's quite a few 150 sales. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of sales at 160 even. So.
And then what about the legendary packs? What were those?
Pretty consistently around like 1,200, 1,300. I didn't really look too much at those because I'm not trying to cop a legendary and flip it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like there's a bit of an inflection point, and maybe it's a little bit too early in the season now that it's still like preseason NFL and like, I mean, for this is financial advice for everybody watching. Like, beginning of the NFL season is like peak hype. Everybody's rock hard. Like everybody's ready to go on like everything NFL. Like it is not like NBA, MLB, cricket, Premier League. Nothing compares to the preseason hype for NFL Week 1. So like now is the time to definitely try to sell these packs for more than market price. But I would also say like there's probably an inflection point, and it might be hey, I might be crazy here, but like there might be this one drop where you could only get a few and everybody's selling over, and then like the next drop you get up to 100. Like maybe there's other people that are thinking like, oh, I could probably sell these for a profit too, and like that's like a pretty big gap of like I could reserve 2 to I could reserve 100, and like I don't know, maybe they're not all going to be profitable. That's all I'm saying.
No, you're it's a risk for sure. And I mean, part of the reason I'm only doing it is because I withdrew a big chunk from that big sale I had, and it's kind of house money at this point.
Nice.
But the thing is, the last pack drop, like there was like 1 or 2 huge names in there. This pack drop has like Mahomes and like CMC and like it like there are more big pulls from this one. So like I think worst case scenario, like you're going to like make a little bit on the top or like break even. Like I don't think there's a world where you're just absolutely just like bailing water on this boat. But I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong and be like a pop up in the group chat tomorrow and be like, John, you're right. I'll never doubt you again. I apologize. Like, yeah.
I do think you're right, Jeff. Right now, I do think that changes in like 2 weeks, though. I
wouldn't.
wouldn't.
I'm not going for any more drops after this one because there's still more coming. I think I'm not trying to get any more of those. I'm just going for this one because it's got the biggest names in it.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Did I just see another? Oh no, that was before. Sorry, I thought I saw another super chat come in. I thought Boston Base was throwing more Buddhist stuff at us. Yeah, one more drop after this is confirmed, says Reed. All right. Yeah, I lined up for 2 because I had a little dapper in there, and I was like, whatever, we'll see what happens. But
yeah, roll the dice, baby.
Why not? Let's try to make another $3 like I did on that sweet Larry Bird, baby. Any other NFL all day takes before we slowly start wrapping up here?
Dude,
no,
there's
good.
a lot of freaking pack sales on NFL all day.
A lot of pack sales. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've been
buy 100. I might buy 100. I was gonna say, okay, maybe there's only been like 100 of these packs sold. There's like over 100 that have sold for like 170 bucks. So like, fucking crazy.
Well, I feel like they've had a bunch of. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's because the packs have been like staggered. But I feel like it's been nothing but pack drops the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
or I'm just. Go ahead, Jeff.
This is pack drop number 2, and they just dropped number 1. Like they did not waste any time between.
Well, wasn't number 1 2 releases also?
Yeah, correct. It was legendary and rare, and now they're doing another
there's 2
releases.
There's 2 legendary releases and there's 2 rare.
Yeah, and there's probably going to be a third wave of legendary and rare. So definitely seems like a lot.
I'm saying right now there's already 2 releases for sale on the marketplace.
Yeah, because people got there was a pre-order. So if you had like met certain requirements, you got the rare and the legendary pack today. So public sales tomorrow.
I was just gonna let TST just talk about Canada here for a few minutes. I wasn't sure what he was. I thought what he was sharing on screen was relevant to what we were talking about, but TST instead fully checked out and pivoted towards Canada. Do you want? Go ahead.
You guys started talking about NFL Day, and I just started scrolling Twitter, and it was just more Canada love. So I just thought I'd share that with the people.
I want to do because I do want to talk about Canada for a few minutes, but the only other 2 things, it's 2 things in one. It feels like we're not getting like the traditional Rumble or Moment ranks this year, right? Is it kind of where we've all landed at?
Probably
Well, we're
not.
not for Rumble. We're for sure not. They already said that.
Yeah, Rumble's behind the paywall. They've got like a Joker Rumble.
No, they said that they didn't get Dapper funding, so now it's just it's like, dude, talk about Ponzi economics in the best sense of the world. Like the new shit for TOC and Rumble and all that stuff is incredible. I love it. If you're like locked in, if you're like really locked into that shit, like you could get pretty into it.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this a bunch of times. I think TOC was like the best way to play fantasy football 2 years ago. I had a lot of fun with that, but it's just one of those things where it went away, you know, it went away. And
Sorry,
so
I'm laughing at Skeet's comment there.
I'm probably not gonna and wait, what is that?
NBA player equivalent of Top Shot, and he says Derrick Rose.
Oh gee, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Good lord. But yeah, so I assume we're not gonna get moment ranks, right?
They announced that it's coming. I just don't know if it's, once again, like John said, if they're going to get Dapper funding for it. So I mean, it's going to exist.
Those boys are more checked out than I am. Like, there's no way that Moment Ranks is doing it.
Well, maybe it's possible that Dapper signed a contract with them because they were doing Moment Ranks when everything was great. So maybe they signed a long-term contract. I don't know.
They did that with the NFL too.
Yeah.
Aren't they? Yeah. and then I think they came a little short. All right. Let's before we're gonna slowly wrap up here. I wanted to make sure TSC had a few. Listen, he's got red lighting on. Is that a footy jersey here? Is that or is that like coach's polo?
This is some official Canada basketball polos.
All right, we got an SGA
Is that your
jersey.
teacher? Is that your teacher outfit?
No, I put this on just for the show. I put this on for the show. I don't think I've ever even worn this one. My buddy works is on the coaching
now
staff.
It's game used.
So he just hooks me up with gear all the time. So
that is pretty cool.
So.
Oh, that's right. I remember. And anyway, I remember like feeling like we were about to learn some breaking news ahead of time, and then we were wildly disappointed with what it was.
Yeah, it was just like Coach Nurse was not coaching.
Yeah, it was like, oh yeah. All right, so just take us through. Like, how are we feeling? What's going on?
We're feeling good. The Spain game was hectic. I was pacing in my kitchen, and I was like, while they're on defense, I'm gonna keep doing stuff like in the kitchen. When they're on offense, I'm gonna be like actively watching, even though like when I was like cutting up whatever I was cutting up, I was clearly just watching, but I felt that I was helping for that regard. The third quarter was more of a roller coaster than cheering for Dylan Brooks. And it threw me back to those Raptors playoff run vibes. So I was stressing that hard, and everything, after the Olympics is kind of gravy, as much as like, obviously they could still do some more damage and everything. That was like the thing where it's just like, if we fail that, it's just like been constant. Like our loss to Venezuela, our loss to Czech, were just like so gut wrenching that if that happened again, it would have been rough. So now it's a lot of fun. It's going to be a rough Friday. Waking up at 4:45 to watch that before.
Yeah,
work.
that's tough. That's a tough start time.
Yeah. But hey, I honestly, like, I rather that than it be at a time where I can't watch it because I'm working. But I mean, I would have just said F it and made all the kids watch and said.
I was gonna say, or take a sick day, dude. Just take a.
We're gonna learn the triangle today, boys.
We're gonna learn why SGA is God,
dude. He's been. I mean, he is so cold, and he's got like no emotion. He's like, he's a killer, man. I love SGA. I've always loved SGA, but then watching him, like this tournament run has been so cool. It's been so cool. Oh yeah, that's right. You guys are doing playback at 4:45 a.m. That's sick.
See, I'm like Jimmy Butler out here. I do not care about the World Cup. I just can't.
No, I love it. I really do. For whatever reason, I feel this way about the Olympics usually too. And like that's when I care about soccer the most too. For some reason, dude, I fucking love nationalism, dude.
But so Okay, I'm not
Yeah,
a
go ahead,
really
John. You-
big
let's go.
international
Let's
guy
go,
here.
John.
Not like a huge international hoops fan, but is Canada not like one of the better teams in the well, not the country, just like the
Man,
you call it the world, but
They're a
we
lot like
haven't
Gafford.
John, we haven't been to the Olympics since the year 2000.
oh.
I'll be
So,
honest.
but how does it
RJ
work? Like
RJ Barrett's father was on that team.
okay, but my point is, isn't Canada good? So like, why weren't they in the Olympics? Like, why weren't
Because
they
we
qualified?
choked
Because they
every single
weren't
time.
good until
Also,
now.
and this actually brings up my point. The biggest takeaway I have of the World Cup
This is the
is
first team that's ever been good. Like the first time a couple bros from Canada have all played, and they've been good recently.
they often don't play for our country. That's like our problem is that the NBA guys don't always all play. But we've choked away some games even when we have some of our NBA guys playing. But my biggest takeaway for the World Cup is that we need to expand the Olympics to 16
To
to
32?
16 teams. No, to 16 teams from 12. Like it's only 12.
Oh,
so like for
Sweet
example,
16.
like Slovenia isn't going to necessarily make the Olympics after doing what they did in the World Cup. Latvia had that amazing run without Porzingis, and they may not end up in the Olympics. So I think we need to expand the Olympics to 16 teams.
Okay,
Yeah.
this goes back to my main questions here. Like,
let's go back.
what the fuck is Olympic? Like, how does
For
Olympic
the
qualifying work?
Olympics?
No. I'm familiar with the Olympics, but how does Olympic qualifying work? Because you're rattling off all this shit that's fucked up. That like it seems like there's some guide rails that need to be implemented there.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
not
it's
watch the Redeem Team documentary, John?
Okay, I
Jeez.
know. I know about Olympics. Like I understand nationalism, baby. I get it, but I don't get why there's all these teams that are really good in the World Cup, but like they're not making the Olympics. Like, what is in the Olympics? Zimbabwe and shit. Like, I'm confused.
No. So there's so the qualifiers from the World Cup. So the World Cup is like part of the way you qualify. So there's 2 from the Americas that make it the furthest in the World Cup that get to go. So that's like us in the US.
Oh my god. That's
Then
so stupid.
the furthest of
get
the
it.
African teams, 1 gets to go. The 2 furthest of Europe get to go. 1 from Oceanic and 1 from Asia. Then there's the host country, so that makes 8. And then there's 4 qualifying tournaments that like happen right before the Olympics, which is where Canada usually effed up and loses in heartbreak. And those will happen like in next July.
Can I just say something real quick here, especially while Steve's here? 1 from the Oceanic is horseshit.
Is it though? Like
I think it's all horseshit. I think all of this.
No, hold on.
Geographical stuff is horseshit. It should
Don't
just
let my
be-
take get misconstrued here. Hold on. That's out of 2, right?
Oh, you're saying that it's too many.
Yeah. What the
just
fuck? There's 2
throw 'em
with
with
50% shot. Also,
throw
if
'em
I'm
with
New
Asia?
Zealand, if I'm New Zealand, I'm bullshit. So it's either us or this country 7 times the size of us. Show the fucking Flight of the Conchords some respect. That's garbage. Throw them in with the Americas. I don't. That's crazy.
No, throw them with Asia, like
or Asia. Yeah,
I think the
close.
geographical guide rails in general are bullshit. Like there should be like you have to be in the top whatever ranking, and yeah, you can play in some tournaments to try to get in also, but like that's stupid.
Yeah.
Man, did our podcast just get red pilled? Hell yeah.
John, let's go a step further, John. Why do they have to play for their country? Let's just form teams.
Well, you know what?
Last piece where all the best players play.
Well, people might argue that FIBA has already gone that far, Mike.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, the last question I have for you guys is because I'm just kind of getting caught up on international hoops here. So I've been seeing a lot of clips of Rondé Hollis Jefferson. Like, is he always been a Kobe impersonator? Is he like, is that is just his game in this tournament? Is like Kobe's like brother-in-law? Like, what's going on? Because he looks like Kobe. And I'm sorry, Jeb, if you don't agree and you think he looks like LeBron.
Yeah, Jeb, do you need to do this? Do you need to do this?
What?
How fucking dare you talk about Kobe, dude? Did Rondé get it?
Okay, he looks like Walmart Kobe. Like he's doing well. Like hats off to him. No shade to him. But people are like, oh my gosh, he looks just like Kobe. I'm like, yeah, if Kobe had one leg, maybe. Like, holy cow. Like, he looks like Kobe when Kobe had a broken hand. Like, there's like levels to this. I don't know. I think it's weird that people are trying to stretch it so far. But, they're just like, oh, he's doing well, so he looks like one of the greatest to ever do it. You wouldn't say that if, like, some random started dunking the ball, running at the basket super fast and dunking it. You wouldn't be like, oh, it's LeBron.
I mean, we literally did that with Kobe about Michael Jordan.
Okay, wait a minute. I feel like my question is not the right.
Wait, hold on.
question.
I got you. That's why I came over. So he changed his game. He did not look or play like that when he was on the Nets. That's what I remember him. I think he did some time with the Timberwolves. That made it sound like prison. But he did not play like that because they played him as like a stretch big or like a 4. He was all down low. And this game, he's like handling the ball and he was playing very different. So he's obviously not Kobe, but it is weird that he looks different. He's straight up looks different. Yeah,
but it's not okay. I don't mean to say like his Rondé Hollis Jefferson is playing like Kobe. I'm saying like if you put their clips next to each other, he's like impersonating Kobe. It seems like he's got the armband on. He's got the freaking finger thing probably on. Like it seems like his mannerisms are mimicking Kobe. And like, but so that's not. I'm not saying he is Kobe. I'm saying is that like his thing, right?
I was just going off as a bit. I really don't care. But
are you saying that he is the reincarnation of Kobe? Like that?
Yeah.
After Kobe died, he was like, "I'm going."
Is he a hologram?
Dude, he just animated a film.
This motherfucker's not real.
Also, hey, I think I need to apologize to the entire Oceanic region. There's 22 countries a part of the Oceanic region. Yeah. That's embarrassing. I thought.
And then also, what top?
A lot of islands there.
Samoa's
coming for your head too.
My bad. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Jeb. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying what Top Shot Tesla's saying, and this kind of goes back to that one idiot Noah Lyles, who's like, "Oh, I run really fast. I won a world championship." It's like, yeah, everyone in the NBA, like the worst players in the NBA, will go to like a pickup game or something like that, and they'll drop like 80. So like, it's like because they're allowed to handle the ball and they're allowed to play the way they want. While in the NBA, there are players better than them, and they have to fit into a system. And like a coaching, like,
but is that comment directed towards the other teams in FIBA, or is he just saying in general in life, or what are you saying?
I mean, in general, like if you're in the NBA, you could probably go and join if you're in the NBA,
globalism, nationalism, communism.
That's it. Welcome back to Shot Tank Series 2.
Because if you're saying that like any bum NBA player can go light up this tournament, it's like. You guys have a lot of NBA players lit up by Lithuania. So
any NBA player, if they wanted to, could go play for their country. There's not a single World Cup team to be like, oh no, sorry, we got our guys. We don't want anyone from the NBA.
Except for USA.
Yeah, I was gonna say USA.
Well, but they're all from the NBA. We don't have a single guy that's not in the NBA.
Jeb, it's a global sport now, dude.
Yeah, dude. unless it's the World Cup, and then it's nationalism. Give me RHJ over Killian Hayes. But the one thing that was different about RHJ, like he had some pretty good like quotes too afterwards, where he was saying like he maybe like took for granted, and because he was a high draft pick, I think, and like assumed that he was going to come in and dominate. And I think he was just like how he's been humbled through the whole thing. So I do think his game's changed. Like I wonder if we see him. I'm not saying he's going to like, play 40 minutes a game for the NBA, but I wonder if he like comes back and makes a little run.
I think a team gives him a chance for sure, and hopefully he makes the most of it.
I want to see if Zagars from Latvia gets a chance.
Yo, Zagars was balling today.
That guy, it was amazing.
I just want to say real quick to Skeets' comment. Sneeps was on playback the other day and was ripping like like Gulf War cards. He was like doing like a box of Gulf War, like an unboxing of the Gulf War, which is wild.
That's so fire.
Which is wild. He hasn't done it yet. He told me he was going to do it.
Well, Sneeps, let us know when you do it because I want to watch that live. But have you seen those TikToks of the guys being like, like it's the parody where like, oh my gosh, Saddam Hussein mint condition with war torn like jersey.
As he said, oh, that's good. That's good.
That's fine.
All right, we gotta wrap up soon because it's past my bedtime.
Mhm.
Real quick, TSC, what's your? Are you just like you're like, hey, I'm a dad now, I'm a teacher now. With So Rare coming
Been a
back,
teacher for a while,
are we? Well,
like a decade.
I know, but are we gonna see some So Rare videos this year, or are you a Shot Tank exclusive?
No, I'll do some So Rare videos when the season comes around.
There we go. All right, out of retirement, get ready,
Yeah.
baby. People miss that hair. John, you tweeted out what you got going on. You got a busy schedule here with the football situation happening. What are things looking like for you?
Yeah, we got a couple different football things going on. Going to be bringing back the flow chart on Saturday mornings for DraftKings, GPPs, and cash. Going to do that actually as a live stream this year instead of an article, and then it'll go up in a podcast. So everybody will pop in Saturday mornings for that. I'll tweet it out. And then Mike and I doing the Sunday morning shows, talking all things underdog again. Not again, but doing the Sunday morning shows again, this time talking all things underdog. So that'll be a lot of fun. We've both been diving into those streets pretty hard. And then a couple different pieces of content throughout the week. I'll have showdown stuff for every showdown slate with Roto Street. One of the guys, one of the companies I wrote for a while ago, and I'm bringing that back. And then doing the workload report as well. A bunch of football stuff, bunch of football nerd stuff. Just follow my Twitter. I'll tweet it all out and go read it. And then I would like to make like a very important announcement. So I did give softball a run over the summer, over our break. Didn't do that well. I was getting some like swinging bunt lessons from Mike on like how to go oppo field.
How'd that work out?
I did do well in the last game of the year, but I am hanging up the softball cleats, and we're going back to pick up rec basketball starting on Thursdays this fall. So I'll keep the boys posted on how we did. That's
great. That is a great update. I have decided I'll save it for my update. Actually, Jeb, you go. Would you anything cooking these days, Jeb? The So Rare Steals videos have been great.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I try to do content when I can. I mean, unfortunately, the real life job has been kind of the forefront lately. But yeah, I'm gonna try to continue to do as much So Rare as possible. I spent a lot of time, a sickening amount of time on this So Rare video that I want to film. So I'm hoping I can film it when I get back from Sacramento, and it's not going to be like 2 hours long. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make content when I can. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunately a bit of a backseat lately.
There you go. People remind me. Yeah, like the stream, subscribe, #season 2. We will do that at the end. Yeah. So, all right. I told this to Kelsey recently. I've decided that I am going to make my return to rec league basketball, but I'm going to wait until I turn 40, and I'm going to do the 40 and over leagues. I think I've decided. You guys are you made a face like, when is that? That's just not that far from now. That's like a year and a half.
No, I made a face that was a terrible idea. Like, I'm going to start when I'm older. That's but then you saved it with I'm only going to play with old men.
And
maybe women. I don't know what type of,
sure.
Might be a mixed league at that point.
That's fine too, but I've been in the gym. I've been taking 100 threes a day, but I'm refusing to play basketball against people. So I'm waiting until I age into the appropriate age bracket.
So these are a very long run of off-season workouts.
Yeah, I'm going to be. I'm in my.
Or is this pre?
He's in his Ben Simmons phase, baby.
Should you get the chair out?
No,
I am. Chair out. Get a nice chair.
I am Rondé Hollis Jefferson. That's what I'm in my RHJ phase right now. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna look different. Steve says that don't they have over 35 leagues? They actually, I haven't found a lot in New York.
Mike's too old for over 35 at this point. He's got to wait.
Too old.
Yeah, I won't be
You
like
need
I
to
want to
be a
be
young
fucking
gun.
elite. It's like how parents hold their kids back, so they're like the oldest one in the grade. That's like the opposite of that, where I'm just gonna jump in at 40 and then I'm gonna dominate these old fucks. But actually,
Do you,
what's
do you
really
think they check ID? Like, could
Yeah,
you get
like
in there
could you
as a
Little League
38-year-old?
World Series it? Little League World Series it? Like get a different birth certificate going?
No, I bet they do check. I bet they do check.
Mike grew up in the Dominican Republic, clearly.
Well, yeah, what was
Okay,
that kid's
okay,
name?
they check, but they
16
definitely
year-old.
don't really check. Like okay, like fake ID, like college
hold
fake
on.
IDs, like
Hold
college
on.
fake IDs, like a little bit sketchy to try to get a fake ID in college because like bartenders kind of know what's going on. Rec league over 40 fake ID, probably not sketch at all. Homie at the check-in table is not
Dude,
no
this
real
is
fake ID.
huge.
John, did you join an over 40 league?
Yes, did you?
No. But I'm saying, I think I probably bought mine for $100 10 years ago, so I'm pretty sure you could get a pretty cheap one.
Yeah. And that's my athletic update. My knees, I don't think my knees can hang. Like my brain is still too competitive and my body will suffer for it, I think. So I'm going to wait till
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I think I've just given up on. Like I have 0 or 100. There's no in between for me. So.
Yeah, dude. Ever since Stream Shaker fucked you up at the Hall of Fame game, dude, you had to shut it down.
Ever since he threw me under the bus, my legs have just never really recovered from.
Yeah, if I was just getting the ball more, I don't know. If people just like pass it around a little bit more, I think everything fine. I don't know why I think he's like Ben Shapiro, but that is like my impression of him. Yeah, that's true too. Maybe there's a little person league I can get into. All right, let's what do I have? If anybody missed it this week, we had Matthew Judon come on the show, which was really cool. We did that on late Monday night. It was a late show, but go back and watch that. We played a football video game, STG Gaming. We messed around with that and kind of shot the shit for a little bit as I embarrassed myself, but that was a lot of fun. So go check out that one. And otherwise, I'm trying to, what's today? Today's Wednesday. Either Friday or Monday, we're going to announce like the full fall schedule. We still have a very exciting announcement coming for our 8-hour like opening day stream that I still can't announce, but is coming soon. So I'm excited about that. But for Shot Tank, we're gonna be here every Wednesday at 9:00. We'll be back again. Shane, oh man, anyone heard what happened to Judd? Did something happen to him, Shane? Or are you just saying like we haven't heard from him in a while? We need an update. That was good. But yeah, let's remind the people. God, I don't want to. We got to do the bit though. All right, we got to do the giveaway now. Like the stream, subscribe. Hashtag season 2 because we're gonna end the show with our UFC Strike Minute, and we got to do the giveaway first. So, so put that in there right now. And if you win something, shoot me a DM. Actually, you know what? You've had plenty of time. I'm fucking spinning this thing, dude. Also, we are getting really close to 10K. We're at 9,945. So we're getting real close. It's fun. Wow. Boston based. That piece of shit. Congrats, Boston based. Big W for Boston based. All right, Jeb, the floor is yours. The UFC Strike Minute. Hold on. That's not what I wanted. Here we go. Let's get you up in the big board here. Jeb, take it away. What's going on in UFC Strike?
Well, UFC Strike recently dropped this thing called UFC Strike Now, where you're allowed to buy players and kind of predict if they're going to win their fight or not. I'm honestly not a fan of it at all right now, and I'm hoping maybe they add some more to it in the future. They have this kind of leaderboard thing that's kind of similar to what Top Shot's doing, but it's more with like purchases as opposed to burns, partly because, they don't have a massive oversupply problem like Top Shot does. So they don't have to like go ahead and, burn all this excess. But I think they're doing a lot of interesting things. The UFC seems to be really on board. And that's the thing that I really like to see is just the fact that the UFC seems to be really open to it, both the fighters and the like front office people. So I don't know. Like, et cetera, oh, am I going?